in that lion's den, shaking the homelessness. Lord, I'm rattling the tiger's cage, and I ain't done nothing wrong. I feel the heat through the doors. I put my key to the lock. Before it swings free, Lord, I know there's something wrong. She can't be content with serenity, 'cause misery, she loves company. Whoa, I'm looking, done got scratch on my back from the tongue lashing. I didn't behold, Lord, I'm tiptoeing across broken glass. I better watch my step, oh, it could be my last. Yeah, I'm walking the lion's den, shaking the homelessness, gone to rattling the tiger's cage, and I ain't done nothing wrong. Wake up in the morning to more bad news. You're having a bad day, I guess I have one too. I'm dodging knives on that cutting board as they drag me across that killing floor. Oh, I'm reaching for a lifeline, but the water keeps rising, just a matter of time. For this anchor drags me to the deep, and that's the last you're ever gonna see of me. Yeah, I'm walking in the lion's den, shaking the homelessness. I'm rattling that tiger's cage, and I ain't done nothing wrong. I ain't done nothing wrong. I can't take this much longer.
Welcome to Nothing But Feedback. I'm Amanda Melly, and we have Hal York here today. Or is it Yorkshire?
No,
It's
just York.
just
Yeah.
York. All right. How are you?
Good. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm thinking, are you really good? Because walking in the lion's den was pretty intense. So.
Yeah, it's a little on the dark side. It's about relationships, you know, and they can get rough. I'm sure everybody can relate to it, whether you're married, living together, dating, or whatever. You have those days where your significant other is just in one of those moods where you can't do anything right. And you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of a song about that.
Clearly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness. So I guess, I mean, I could ask you why you picked that song, but I guess.
Well, I like the artist. It was Selwyn Birchwood's song that I heard about 3 years ago. And it just appealed to me. That song was just like, that's definitely got to go into the act, you know. Of course, I always have to, with my voice, I have to choose my material carefully, and that one just fit.
Yeah.
You know, it sounded.
But you get the gritty, creepy voice.
Yeah.
So you get the gritty, creepy
The gritty
songs.
creepies, yeah.
It's the gritty creepies. There we go. So what got you into music?
Oh, I was interested since I was a small child. I grew up in Maine until I was around 10 years old. We used to get together at my uncle's house, and it was like a collect-off for the whole family. And that side of the family is French-Canadian. I'm half French-Canadian, half Irish, right? And they would get together, and everybody played. And I wanted to be a part of that so much. And they jam. They jam on the weekend, from Friday till Sunday. I swear, these people, and they drank hard. They were hard drinkers, right? And they'd stay up all night. There'd always be somebody playing, right? And so there was instruments kicking around the house a lot. And so I first played drums for a couple of years when I was a little kid, right? And then picked up guitar at 10. And by the age of 12, I was already gigging.
Wow.
Yeah. This kid band that we put together, I guess we're pretty good at the time. This is in New London, Connecticut, after we'd moved on. And we'd get out there, and we used to get on the average about 3 gigs a weekend, which at the time my father was like one of these guys that, you know, you gotta get a paper route, you know, and paper routes weren't paying anything, and
Right.
and playing in a band got more girls than the paper boys, you know. So anyways, yeah, I mean, it wasn't big bucks back then. I mean, a band make $40 working all night, you know.
You made something.
But yeah, at that age.
Wow.
So I continued playing guitar, did the rock thing for a few years and that. And then around 15, we had, it sounds strange, but we had to have a TV repairman come to the house. And this guy popped into the house, and he was like, I don't know if all your viewers, the older ones will remember this guy, Maynard G. Krebs. He was a beatnik. He was on a show called Dobie Gillis that was on TV. And we had the guy come through the door, and he was like a beatnik, right? You know, the whole bit with the goatee and everything. So I had some rock on. I was listening to rock. He said, oh, no, man, you gotta listen to blues. You gotta listen to blues. And I was like, well, you know, I've heard some blues. You know, the Animals did some blues. The Stones did. No, not that stuff. You gotta start getting into Junior Wells. You got Buddy Guy, Muddy Waters, and all this. And most of these guys I'd heard the name, but I hadn't really, you know, been around their music. So he turned me on to blues, and once I got bit by the bug, that was it. And so I wound up going off and playing in some bands with him and his crew, and I was the youngest guy in the band. And many times I was one of the very few white people in the band.
Wow.
They used to refer to me as the great kid or cracker, right? And but I could play, so I could hold my own, you know.
Wow.
But after those years, I picked up bass, and mainly I picked up bass as another way of making some money. If an opening for a bass player came up, back then it was always hard to find a bass player or a keyboard player. Mm-hmm. Then the more I played bass, the more I fell in love with it. So I wound up playing bass for many years after, in different blues bands and that sort of thing, and singing and playing, you know. But as of probably about 5 years ago, I had some health problems and stuff, and I stopped working altogether musically. Mm-hmm. And then I started thinking about, you know, it'd be really dragged to see a band suffer because if I was out, you know, that sort of thing. So I decided to go solo, and you can't really just sit there and play bass and sing and for a night and entertain people. So I went back to playing 6-string again, kind of relearning six string. I jokingly referred to my own playing as a bass player who's masquerading as a guitarist. But, you know,
That's why
the
you
blues
have that
licks are all coming back and stuff, you know.
Yeah. No, you have such a unique way of strumming the guitar.
Yeah.
I understand it now.
Milking some sound out of
It's
it,
a
yeah.
totally different, no, but it's what a vibe, because you have such rhythm, which makes sense. Now I understand where you kind of do that. That's neat. And the way you did, I had seen you do, well, we'll talk about that in a couple songs. We're going to talk about, actually, we're going to watch you do Chill on Cold right now.
She hunts her prey like a gator on a swarm. Make love to two fools just to get what she wants. She'll take money from a rich man like throwing $1 down a well. She'll take an angel from heaven straight through the gates of hell. Wow! This woman could put the chill on cold. She's pretty but got no soul. This woman could put a chill on cold. She's a dangerous kind of woman, 'cause she can't feel. There's nothing about her love you'll find is real. She will go down just to mess up your home. Once she gets what she wants, you'll find that girl is gone. Oh, this woman could put a chill on cold. She's pretty but got no soul. This girl could put a chill on cold. She don't love nobody except maybe herself. She say she love you, you know she's got somebody else. Just like a queen bee, she rules with her honey. You think she wants your stinger, man? She just wants your money. Wow! This girl could put a chill on cold. She's pretty but got no soul. This woman could put a chill on cold. She's pretty but got no soul. This woman could put the chill on cold.
So Chill on Cold. Jeez. Were you stung?
Yeah. That's a Doug McLeod tune.
Okay.
And I've only been listening to him for probably the last year and a half. But I do two songs by Doug McLeod. And I like his style. He's another one that was a bass player converted into a guitar player. And I had picked up on some of his music listening to B.B. King's station on Sirius. And they have an acoustic blues thing on Sunday mornings I was listening to, and I said, wow, who's this guy? I love that, you know. So Chill on Cold was actually the first thing I'd ever heard by Doug McLeod, but I like his stuff a lot.
It's
you know, kind of
striking.
the same kind of thing like I like to do, you know.
Yeah, that vibe fits you, man. It's grit. It's piercing. So is there a specific reason other than, you know, liking his stuff that you picked that specific song?
It always seems to have a universal appeal when I play it out for people. A little bit of an up-tempo funk kind of thing, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And it's got a good line that just keeps going through it. But lyrically, I like it.
It's fierce.
Of course, most of the stuff I do is about evil-hearted women. And I can't help that. That's just blues. I mean, I do
Yeah.
sing some stuff that isn't about evil-hearted woman. But that one's a particularly hard-hearted woman.
That is, yeah. She puts the chill on cold.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a question for you. Why does your license plate say TRT bum?
Trout bum.
What is it?
Like a ski bum.
A ski bum. A
Okay.
trout-
I'm a fly fisherman. And that's for trout bum.
Trout bum. Ryan had picked it up, and I'm like, what? TRT bum? Trout bum. So you like fishing? Fly
Yes,
fishing?
fly fishing, yes.
That's awesome. Is there a good area around here that you specifically...
Well, down where I live, Wood River is probably one of the best ones. And that, you know, it's funny, I used to go there fly fishing a lot years ago, and I spend more time with a camera down there than I do a fly rod now.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm one of these people, I don't hunt. When I fished with a barbless hook, and then I started thinking I was harassing the poor fish. You know, so I go take pictures of them.
You are singing songs like this, all gritty and all like fierce,
Yeah.
and you don't want to hurt the fishies.
Oh,
Is that
yeah,
correct?
well, yeah, women different, but we could whips and chains there, but
Oh my God.
I don't have any ex-fish or divorced fish in my life, so
Oh my goodness, that is phenomenal. That's a good juxtaposition right there. Oh my God. So, I really wanted to ask you about one of the guitars that I saw. I think we're gonna see that coming up. What? It's like brass.
yeah, that's called actually the name of that particular one is a Gretsch honey dripper. I bought that in Clarksdale, Mississippi. For people who have heard the Robert Johnson tale of he went to the crossroads and sold his soul to the devil. Well, that's Clarksdale, and that's Highway 61 and Highway 49. And I bought that while I was down there. I went to Mississippi last September for about a month. I went down through, you know, Nashville and Memphis and that sort of thing. Went down Highway 61 over to New Orleans and then came back up. Spent the rest of the time on Highway 61. That's a resonator guitar is what they call that. Dobros or Nationals, the more famous and much more expensive brand of that thing. But the resonator guitars were first invented there was no amplification in the old days. And they wanted to get the sound out there. And so with that resonator cone system in those things, they project well, you know. I have two. I have a wooden one that has the chrome pie plate or hubcap as people call it. And that has a mellow sound. And the brass one, it's more closer to a banjo, which I'm not trying to sound like banjo, but it gives you that earthy sound.
Out in the woods.
You know.
Out in the deep woods, right? Out in the deep woods kind of effect that you mentioned. Right.
Yeah.
That's I can't help it.
Oh, she's off on deliverance again. Okay.
So we're gonna have you We're going to have you perform Down at Your Burying.
I'm gonna get Big Boy Hogan to come down and dig your grave. And I'll be standing right there watching when they throw that cold dirt in your face, woman. I'll be down at your burial. Riding around in my V8 Ford. You think you're so smart, honey, I declare that you don't know. Well, when you're done, it's of your own choice. Better make that look like an accident too. So when you're dead and gone, your people will see. Honey, what did become of you? Woman, I'll be down at your burying. Riding around in my V8 Ford. You think you're so smart, girl, I declare that you don't know. Some of the things you've been doing lately and giving me the blues. I'm gonna make a gift to your family. You and your casket too. Woman, I'll be down at your burying. Riding around in my V8 Ford. You think you're so smart, child, I declare that you don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna get Big Boy Hogan to come down and dig your grave. I'll be standing right there watching, honey. When they throw cold dirt in your face, woman, I'll be down at your burying. Riding around in my V8 Ford. You think you're so smart, honey, I declare that you don't know. Woman, you don't know.
That's a song that I first heard in 1967, I believe, by James Cotton. And it was on an album he came out with that year. And he's called that Down at Your Burying in an other albums, he's called it V8 Ford Blues. And the arrangements change. On Pure Cotton, he used one where it was mainly like a string bass and a piano doing that high end that I use for harmonics on the tune. And then other ones you hear, it's a string bass and an acoustic guitar, but still the arrangement's quite different. If you heard the song by James Cotton, you'd recognize the song, but you know right away that it sounded arrangement-wise, and the instrumentation he used is quite different than what I do. I had to adapt it so that it worked well for acoustic guitar, and that's just the way it came out after I worked on it, you know. Using harmonics in there takes that part that you would hear the piano in, you know, that sort of thing. But it's a very open, airy tune. In blues, they say less is more. Mm. And the notes you don't play are just as important as the ones you do play. That song is a lot of room to breathe in. You gotta let that song work, you know, and you just sit back and you don't try to fill it up with all these riffs and things like that. You just let it shine the way it is.
Yeah.
And it seems to be most effective.
It was, because you went and you slid up the harmonics, and, then it just hit you.
Yeah.
The cold dirt in her face, and down at your burying. Yeah.
Well, I jokingly call it as my breakup tune, but
sure.
that only came about as a joke, really.
But it's
the ultimate breakup.
It is quite a song, and you do it quite justice. I do. I love how you do that. I love how you just do the. And I'm like. And so that is your creepy song.
Yeah.
Because I saw that at open mic, and I was just like, what? And then, it grabbed my attention so much.
The funny part about doing a song like that, if I'm playing along at a regular volume, okay, the people tend to get busy and all that sort of thing. And a lot of young musicians make the mistake of thinking you got to play louder to draw people in. No, back off. If you back off and do some sweet stuff very lightly, you watch the people in the front rows lean right into you. That's why I try to sit the good-looking women in the front row. No, seriously, it does have that kind of an effect, because you'll see people, instead of trying to chatter over it, all of a sudden they'll listen, what's he doing now? And then it's, ooh.
It did. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
We're all paying attention, and then all of a sudden it was like, wait a minute, what just happened?
Yeah.
Around the whole room, I was like,
that's good.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're on point with that. I have to ask this question. It's my favorite question. What advice would you give to a musician just starting out?
Well, aside from the obvious, which would be, learning the instrument and that sort of thing, as far as, his scales and all that kind of stuff, listen to a lot of people. You'll develop influences, but don't copy people. Be yourself. There's already one of somebody else out there. Okay, if you're listening, say, if you like Muddy Waters and you want to be just like Muddy Waters, well, it's already been in Muddy Waters. Do your thing with it. Put your own spin, your interpretation on it. The more you play, the bigger musical vocabulary you'll have, and gives you more opportunity to put your own feel into what should be there. But be original, be yourself, and I think that's pretty important for people to do. I hear a lot of these clone band type things, and that's kind of, to me, real easy to do. It's a dime a dozen kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I put my spin on things, and if people like what I do, well, I'm the only one that's doing it,
Yeah, thank you. I like it. That's good. So, One-Eyed Owl, We don't have to completely go into it because that's your Mississippi trip that you had mentioned.
Yeah. All right.
And the one-eyed owl, just to connect, how did that come out of that Mississippi or Route 61?
Well, the whole thing was, that's a Doug McLeod song.
Mm-hmm.
And, but, like I was saying, when I travel, I like to drink up as much of the culture and the folklore of the people. And you hear all kinds of great tales. You know, some believable, some not believable, but it doesn't matter. It's just part of the folklore. And rather than just going along and taking a bunch of pictures or eating some food here and there, if you don't talk to the people and find out the things that they grew up around, you're missing out on a big part. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot. That's a whole facet to a thing, like a trip that give you a lot of great memories.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. Oh. So right after we're going to have you perform One-Eyed Owl, we're going to also have you perform Kelly Ann, which I would love to hear about.
Yeah, that's a song I wrote back a few months ago. I guess I wanted to do something a little more contemporary, and being as I sing about evil woman, I had to think of a contemporary evil woman. And I happened to be watching Meet the Press one Sunday morning.
Oh my.
And on came Kellyanne Conway, and I was just thinking, you know, I look at things on Facebook and different opinions and stuff people have, and it's like, as much as people may not like Donald Trump, if she comes on and gives the interview, they don't even talk about Donald Trump anymore. They're talking about, oh, that woman, right? And she always struck me that way too. There's just something about that woman that just grates on you. So, well, this is my evil woman to write about. And so, you know, it's kind of like the woman everybody loves to hate, I guess. But so I'll give people a little bit of a feel for it, and I had to throw a few Trumpisms in there about my dislike for the current president, but the people who, as deep as this pit goes that's going on politically right now, it amazes me that the people who are Trump fans, the people I say drank the Kool-Aid, just keep trying to defend him. And it's like, oh my God. It's like this guy, if Adolf Hitler had a woman like Kellyanne Conway, she could have justified the Holocaust, you know? So, so that's why I wrote about her.
So that's why you wrote about her, and now we're gonna watch you do One-Eyed Owl and Kelly Ann, and we're gonna say goodbye. Thank you for coming on.
And let's not forget, I have my friend Snake with me on
yes,
Kelly
and we
Ann.
have a guest, Snake, which is Eric Gullickson.
Yes.
And he's backing you up on some bass.
Yes.
So, all right. This was Nothing But Feedback, and we'll see you later.
Bye now.
I've got to give a little preface to this tune. When I was traveling, or whenever I travel, I try to drink up as much of the folklore and folk tales as I can to get a feel for the area that I'm in. And last year I went down to Highway 61 in Mississippi and spent about a month down there traveling between Tennessee down to New Orleans and back. And one of the things that I found out about down there, the people have a belief. Well, first off, they talk about people having sight. And by sight, they mean the person can see into the future. And they also have a belief that some creatures have sight. And a one-eyed owl is one of those creatures that can see into the future. And, well, if you meet a one-eyed owl and you're very fortunate, he may share his sight with you. And this is a song about a one-eyed owl. walked in the woods at night, you know he spoke to me. And he shared his sight. He said, I believe you're gonna quit that woman, 'cause she can't love you right. She gonna give her body so she can have her mind. She got so much trouble, she don't want you to find. You know she hide in the mirror, and now she's out of time. You feel a cold, you rise up from the ground. Just like an empty church, it don't make no sound. Then I look for that owl. But he could not be found. I met a one-eyed owl, when I walked in the woods at night. And you know he spoke to me, and he shared his sight. He said, I believe you're gonna quit that woman, 'cause she can't love you right. He said, you're gonna quit that woman, 'cause she can't love you right. I met a one-eyed owl walking in the woods at night. Kellyanne, Kellyanne, woman, what makes you look so mean? Yeah, Kellyanne, Kellyanne, honey, what makes you look so mean? You know you got a nasty disposition, might be the worst this old boy's ever seen. The first time I saw you, Kelly, you were defending Mr. Trump. Lord knows that can't be easy. Yeah, first time I ever laid eyes on you, baby, you were defending Clinton and old Donald Trump. Now, honey, you look like you've fallen on hard times. Look like you might be picking out the city dump. You told me about Bowling Green, the disaster that happened there. The only disaster I've seen in your newscast, honey, is what's happening with your hair. Oh, Kellyanne, Kellyanne, why don't you just go home? Yeah, stop spewing all that venom. And just leave us poor folks alone. You're a lying kind of woman. Can't believe a word you say. I believe you be a lying wench, honey, till your dying day. Oh, Kellyanne, honey, why don't you just go back home? Yeah, stop spewing all that venom and leave us poor people alone. Kellyanne, woman, what is wrong with you? Oh, Kellyanne, Kellyanne, tell me, baby, what the hell's wrong with you? Yeah, you've been drinking too much of that Kool-Aid. That shit's got you talking like a doggone fool.